Encounters with God can take place in the most surprising of circumstances. In 1975, when the Khmer Rouge came in, they ushered in a 4-year period of terrible, terrible tragedy. Out of a population of about 7 million people at that time, 2 or 3 million died either by execution or by sickness. But through it all, God was faithful to his children. They couldn't identify themselves. They might lose their lives, but God was faithful. One of these special people was named Yong. I first came to know Yong when she was a teenager. Her parents were the household help at the Alliance Guest Home at that time. So when the Khmer Rouge came in, along with everybody, Yong was evacuated into a commune. And her father was in another village, another commune, just some distance away, like quite a nice walk away. And she hadn't seen her father for a while, and so she really wanted to see him. And so she asked the leadership of the commune, "May I please go to the next village to see my father?" Because you couldn't just leave. You'd probably be killed if you were found wandering around. So the commune leader said, "Yes, you can go, but take your hoe." Oh my, she thought, what does that mean? Because lots of times people were executed with a blow on the back of the head with one of those heavy hoes. A Cambodian hoe is different than what you use in Canada or the States. It's a big, heavy iron instrument. And so when she heard that she was to take her hoe, she wondered, why is he asking me to do that? But she, of course, obeyed. And so I want you to picture her. She's walking down the dusty road, hair chopped off short, Khmer Rouge style, black cotton, like pajamas on. And she's walking along carrying her hoe over her shoulder. She's walking along and she came to a stream. And she thought, oh, maybe there might be some dead fish that somehow are beside this stream, because even if they're just dead fish, there'd be some nutrition there. I could have something to give my father, because everybody was hungry and malnourished at that time. There wasn't anything. She managed to get across the stream and she looked, but there wasn't anything there. And she thought, I'm going to just have a cool off in this cool water here. I'm going to have a bath. And so she got down into the water and she reached down and started scooping water over herself like this. Scoop water, scoop water. Suddenly, scoop water, there's a big fish in her arms. She said, oh, the fish, the fish. And she threw the fish onto the shore of the stream. And it was, of course, it was flapping around trying to get back into the water. She grabbed her hoe and hit it on the head. And then she said, God, that's why you had me take my hoe. Not to kill me, but to kill this fish that you knew I would catch. And so she picked up the fish and hid it in her clothing, because if you were caught with extra food, you'd be in bad trouble. And so she hid it, and she got to meet her father in his house where he was living. And she pulled out this fish, and he said, daughter, where did you get that? And she said, Dad, you know me well enough to know I didn't steal it. And she explained to her dad how God had miraculously provided this fish. But now they still had a problem, because if you were caught with food, you'd be in trouble. So how are you going to cook this fish? It will smell wonderful if you fry it or even if you boil it. So what are we going to do now? Suddenly the sky opened and a torrential rain fell down. And while the rain was falling, it kept the smell from going anywhere, and it was noisy, and I couldn't smell anything, I couldn't hear anything. Quickly they cooked the fish, fried it, and kind of put it all over, hid it all over in his house so that he could eat it a little bit at a time. That was the last gift that Yong was able to give her father. He didn't live too much longer after that. The encounter that Yong had with God has been a blessing to many, many people as I recounted this story, because it goes to show us how in the most terrible time imaginable, when we're all oppressed and unable to do anything to help ourselves, we can count on our loving Lord. He will never, never, never fail us.